Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mitchell back here after a very long time. I'm wearing my NFL draft. I'm sporting the NFL draft in Green Bay. Such a great time. I should send videos actually on my channel for the reaction of the Matthew Golden pick. I ended up meeting a family friend. He texted me he was in the Section 100s bowl. I'm glad I met him for that pick and watching it in the bowl. It was very surreal watching it for free in the Lambeau Field Bowl. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I worked all 3 days at the tent, so that couldn't have been a better experience. So I should post some short films, and I should post some short reels and or regular videos. So keep on the lookout for that for draft coverage this last month. And looking forward to sharing them. And then this video is mainly for the predictions, and the draft also couldn't have went better in Green Bay. 600,000 people, the second most attended draft of all time. It was only 100,000 behind Detroit, which is a far bigger city than we are. So it shows from the people that have worked on it, the meetings, the city officials, the draft organizers, we can pull out something like this in Green Bay in the future. So I'm really looking forward to a bright future ahead for hosting events in this town because of how well it went. With any further ado, and I hope also the ones that have attended the draft and watched it on TV had a really wonderful time, one of the best times of my life. So without any further ado, we will go through the Green Bay Packers schedule for 2025. I had all of it written down on the notes, and the only one I forgot without looking at any calendars or anything was the Giants game, and that's on November 16th on Fox. So we have to go through the obvious Week 1 game. It's a Jim Nantz and Tony Romo game. He already interviewed on NFL Network that they were going to be there. I already automatically know they'll be there because that's the marquee CBS game of the week. The other one is the Jets and Steelers, which is a noon game. That'll be an Iron Eagle game. No matter what happens with Aaron Rodgers, that will be the second game that Iron Eagle will be at. But Jim Nantz and Tony Romo will be at this one. I do see us beating Detroit for the first time since 2021 on Monday Night Football at home. I do have it a high scoring game, the second highest scoring game that the Packers will have all season, and the over will obviously hit for wagering terms. And I have the Packers winning 34-27 in a very hard fought game. Jared Goff's still going to be good. He's going to want a lot of revenge after the shocker to the Commanders in the playoffs, but will finally prevail and win at home for the first time since all the way back then. It's incredible to think that the Lions won the last three times in the Packers Stadium. So it's one of these years it will change, and I am very optimistic that Week 1 will start off with a bang and get the fans really excited on a beautiful fall autumn day for that game. And I'm really looking forward to that. And then there will be a free concert for sure. So I should record a couple songs if I do attend the free concert. I will record a couple songs and post it on here. My goal is to get a lot of content on before the football season, so I could hype everybody up, including myself, in kind of the lower end of the sports world right now. It's only NBA and NHL going on. They're wrapping up. So back on topic here, Week 2, Thursday Night Football. Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit will be at this game. They were at the Thursday night game in Detroit, and we only lost by 3. So it's honestly crazy that we played better on Ford Field over the years than Lambeau Field against Detroit. It's only a 3-point game. But anyway, I have us beating the Commanders on Thursday Night Football. It has never happened in the Amazon Prime Video era that we've won on Thursday Night Football. In 2022, we lost to Tennessee at home. 2023, we also lost to Detroit. Imagine that. And in 2024, we lost to Detroit. All Amazon Prime Video streaming games. So for this streaming world, for this one, for the Amazon game, it will be 16-13. I think up and rising, Jaden Daniels. I think you will be a little bit down because I saw a stat this morning that the Commanders had to come back in 6 games to get to the point that they were in the regular season. So the fact that they had to come back 6 times to win, it shows that I know it's an up and rising team, and I really enjoyed their playoff run this year and everything. But I think the overconfidence level from the analysts and everything is very surreal by them. So I see it a very low scoring game. The Thursday games have been better last year, since Amazon Prime kind of done less of the interconference games and less of the sub 500 games. So I've been very much appreciating that, and still getting Al Michaels in our lives after all these years and era that he's done it. There's not many announcers like him today. for how old school and how much of a historian he is and everything, an icon. Week 4, week 3 in Cleveland. I think Cleveland is going to be the underdogs, and they'll surpass us. And I think Cleveland's a very good fan base, and they're a very loyal one, and I think they're going to be tougher at home. They're gonna have some quarterback challenges because Joe Flacco is returning after playing with the Colts last year, and then there's a couple others that will be potential strings for them. So just like Baker Mayfield, but I do see them beating the young Green Bay Packers 19-16, and then week 4. We have been undefeated in Jerry's world, and we haven't lost in Dallas, Texas, including Super Bowl 45 since a whopping 2007 when Rodgers had his first career game as a backup for the Packers, except for one more in preseason, etc. But that's the game he surged in the second half and nearly came back when Brett Favre ended up getting injured, and he was hardly ever injured. He was such a competitor, and he played till the very end when he couldn't anymore. But he was a backup that game, and they really stuck with it against the Cowboys team that had Felix Jones and Tony Romo, and then Terrell Owens is the other player I was thinking about. I knew I was forgetting one of them, and DeMarcus Ware, but I definitely was forgetting about T.O. that game. So it's the first time since a whopping 2007. 2010, we obviously won the Super Bowl in that stadium. 2017, we won in the regular season with a Rodgers to Adams surging victory, historic victory, and then even better, a historic victory in the 2016 NFL playoffs when we won on a shootout in Dallas in the Rodgers to Jared Cook game. And then in recent memory, Jordan Love prevailed, and we beat the Cowboys by a ton in the playoff game, and this is a rematch of that. And if Brian Schottenheimer becomes the real thing there, and they finally break a little bit of humps and take second or third place in the NFC East, they could surprise people. Even though I don't support the Cowboys at all, they could surprise people, and I think he's gonna fix the offense quite a bit with their move. And they had a decent draft this season, so Brian Schottenheimer's squad for the first year, they will break the hump of Green Bay being undefeated, and they will win in a low scoring game because sometimes Sunday night football games are low scoring, and Sunday night football, the crowd's going to be vamped up and everything. So 27-20, I have Dallas winning it, and Dak Prescott having a better game, and fantasy owners that have him, that could be his game to surge. I kind of like the early bye on week 5. I know some are against it, but I really like it because then the Packers get to play more often after that and have those experiences in case playoffs do happen, in case we run into tough teams. Week 6, we have the Bengals. Joe Burrow was injured in 2021 against Green Bay, so it will be very interesting, and the Bengals are kind of like a second team to me. So this is the one that's the circle of life to me, and I'm really excited about. 3:25, which is also a nice start time. It's in Green Bay. It's going to be great weather too, and the fall colors are going to be out. So the Bengal fans, I highly recommend checking out a lot of the city of Wisconsin, city of Green Bay, and all parts of Wisconsin if they can. Rent out an Airbnb, Cedar County, go golfing maybe. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Bengals fans to enjoy the city. But I think Jordan Love's going to prevail on the last possession. If Christian Watson gets healthy and up and rising, Matthew Golden does something, I think they will have the last touchdown to end the fourth quarter to avoid overtime, and Green Bay will win 30-23. Arizona, I have the Packers winning in Arizona, 19-3. So then we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2-2, and then 4-2 going into the Steelers game, which is a possible Aaron Rodgers thing. It's not really looking like he's going to make a decision. So I'm gonna predict that it's a Mason Rudolph game. I can't believe I'm saying that. They moved on from Justin Fields. They moved on from Russell Wilson, who's with the Giants. But I think the Steelers are going to get revenge, and we haven't won in Pittsburgh since a whopping 1970 in the regular season. Aaron Rodgers, even if he doesn't reunite, I think the Steelers are too good at their home stadium, and they've dominated us in the Super Bowl 45 rematch on the road. And the Super Bowl 45 does not count for the road win because that was obviously neutral site. But we have not won in that field since since that long ago, before my mom and dad were even born, and I have us losing to that one to fall to 4-3. And then Carolina, who has up and rising Bryce Young, and he ended up staying in a couple close games, including nearly upsetting Kansas City, only losing by 3 in overtime, is pretty remarkable for that type of team who drafted him a couple of years ago at number 1. They got a steal from him for the way he's growing. And I have it being another shootout. Green Bay will win 31-27 to improve to 5-3. And then I also have an underdog statement. I have a bold win to be 6-3 against Philadelphia, because I think Philadelphia struggles on Monday night games. They lost last year on Monday night in November, and it's Atlanta, and Atlanta was not projected to win at all. They were hardcore underdogs. It was single-digit underdogs, but to me, it was hardcore underdogs. So then Green Bay will improve to 6-3. And then I think with Minnesota, with their rebuild and everything going well, and J.J. McCarthy ends up being up and rising, especially if they're on the road, and if they win a couple of games on their overseas run, they will win. I have it at 26-14. It's like when we lost to Detroit at home last year. It was just a long, long one. So. And then we have a matinee. Ended up being an interesting comment by Roger Goodell when he got interviewed at the 2025 NFL Draft on the Pat McAfee show. He ended up stating that the Lions Thanksgiving game, whoever they host on Thanksgiving Day, will change from 11:30 Central Time to noon Standard Central Time, just to keep the tradition going like it's an NFL Sunday. And instead of starting that early in the morning for us Central people, they'll start a little bit later, and then the Cowboys game will continue to be at 3:30. And them and the Chiefs will be a good one, but that'll be talked about later on. But back to our game. I see Jared Goff winning that, and then hopefully the turkey leg's back, because Fox hasn't brought back the turkey leg in many years now. Last year the Packers got to enjoy turkey legs after beating the Miami Dolphins at home. But hopefully that's back in the John Madden game. But I do unfortunately have us losing 16-27, because one of these years the Lions will win on Thanksgiving. The game that the Bears coach last year got fired. He ended up getting fired after his poor play calling, that he didn't run the ball, instead he passed the ball, and then it led to Lions barely winning that one, and only straight up there. And then Chicago, I have us winning to improve to 7-5. I also have us beating Denver to improve to 8-5. But then unfortunately I have us losing to Chicago 21-18. It'll be very low scoring. But back to the Broncos game, they have Bo Nix, who is also going to be an up and rising quarterback, and he could be a popular pick for fantasy owners that they need a good backup. They really have that lineup, and I did miss the Giants one, excuse me. But I ended up having us win in New York. I don't have a final score, but I do have us winning that one. And then it would be 7 wins. It'd be 7 wins if we beat Denver 38-35. But Bo Nix will definitely be up and rising, and everybody has to watch for those Denver Broncos, because they are gonna surprise a lot of people this year. And then the Bears are gonna be, and then the Bears will be a loss, so that will be 7-6 once we lose to Chicago. And then with that being a Saturday game compared to a Sunday. A Saturday game being compared to Sunday, I have us going to 7-8 after that one. With that being a Saturday game compared to a Sunday, I think it's going to be a lot lower scoring. It's going to be around Christmas time, and with the Commanders and Eagles maybe being surging, I think they're going to take the 7 o'clock Fox window, and I think the 3:30 window will be Packers Bears. But I just think the Bears will beat us one of these years at home for the first time since 2018. The Ravens, I have Lamar Jackson will be coming to Lambeau for the first time in his storied career. He comes close to a Super Bowl every year. They're my pick to win the AFC, maybe even win it all, but they're my AFC championship pick. but I think it's gonna be very high scoring. The Packers are gonna come back from a 17 nothing deficit at halftime and score a lot of points in the second half, and they'll win a big one in Lambeau. They'll be 7-7 going into that one. But there will be a surging win for the last game. It'll be 8-7 going into that one. Excuse me, but it'll be a surging win either Saturday or Sunday, whatever the NFL schedules it at. That will be a surging win to end the home season. Minnesota, we ended up winning in Minnesota near New Year's Day a couple of years ago. We just dominated in that stadium. The fact that the Packers have done pretty well in that stadium, and it's amazing that they're at 500. When I heard on the radio the other day that they're at full-time 500 in that stadium. So if they keep that up, then they will be above 500 in a modern NFC North stadium. So then I have us going 9-8 for the record. It's the same as 2020, same as the 2023 season when we pull out the upset in Dallas, then nearly a upset against San Francisco in the divisional. And then I have the Lions as a number 2 seed, eliminating us in that round because I think the Lions are going to be Lions are going to be very, very dominant. They have Jahmyr Gibbs, they have Jared Goff, they have a bunch of weapons, so they'll win the North. And I have us being another late 7th seed and then elimination because I think the Eagles or 49ers will take the number 1 seed. Hope everybody enjoyed my predictions, and thanks for being here. And I want to go through other teams and other content in the future this summer just to keep hyping up and get ready for the NFL season and other content for other sports too, like the WNBA surging and everything else right now. Hope everyone enjoyed the video, enjoy the weekend, enjoy your early summer and the good weather, and we'll see you all on the next video.